This is Voice for Mount Pleasant Podcast, Best of Edition, bringing you the best of 2021. More than 67,600 votes were cast. You will meet the businesses and services that were voted the best of 2021 by the readers of Mount Pleasant Magazine. Stay tuned for inspiring stories from the winners themselves.
And here we are again with a special edition of Mount Pleasant Best of Podcasts. And we're only having winners on here. And Emily, it was very, very nice meeting you the other day when we came in with the certificate. This is Emily Johnston from the Johnston Law Firm, and you were voted one of the best family law. Tell me, what did you feel when we walked in there with the certificate?
I obviously felt very honored to be recognized by my clients and other maybe members of the community as being a good lawyer in town. We were pleased to hear about the award, and I was sharing it with my staff because we feel like we have a communal firm where everybody in the office really helps take care of the client from the time that you walk into the door to the time that you're filling out a financial declaration with my paralegal, where it's a team-based effort. So I will take it for the team.
When we walked in, you were shocked, number one, but you didn't know if it was for real.
I didn't know it was for real, and I really didn't understand what it was or how expansive your audience was.
67,600 votes this year. You were voted, as I said, one of the best in family law. Emily, it was strictly organic. You were surprised, correct?
Oh, I was totally surprised. In fact, I thought that y'all had made a mistake because there's another Emily in town who practices law.
There can't be another Emily like you.
Well, I hope not.
Let's talk about why you think you were voted. Like, what are you doing right?
From the time that the client walks in the door, I really try to listen. I'm a listener. So I help guide the client to where they want to go. And my big thing with clients is let's look at the big picture, because you're spending a lot of money with me to figure out how to get to the other side. So we're going to get in a boat together, and the seas are going to be rocky, but we are going to get to the other side. So we like to do it as quickly as we can, but represent the person the best that we can.
What's the number one concern? And is it different from men to women?
We find that it is different because, generally speaking, we still we have all kinds of demographics in Mount Pleasant, but let's just take the typical family. One person is out there making the dough, and the other person is in the kitchen making the dough with the kids. So it's all about money. The wage earners or the supporting spouse wants to know, well, am I going to have all my money taken away from me at the end of the day? And the woman who is making cakes and whatnot with her kids in the kitchen wants to know if she's going to be financially secure. So it's the main concerns usually, and this is a very general statement, is money. That's the number one concern, whether you got to have to give it away or whether you get to keep it.
It isn't always the male that is making the money.
No, we have a lot of dynamic, incredible women in Charleston and Mount Pleasant who are out there doing all of it. And I call it the grunt work. So women, I think more so than men, do the grunt work, and they're able to make the money.
So in other words, they have two jobs: take care of the family and they bring in the dough, as you called it, the dough. Yeah, I like that.
And it's amazing how many people are out there making it go.
When people walk into your office, can you tell right away if they actually should get a divorce or really want a divorce?
There are very few people who really want a divorce. In the end, a divorce is a failure, and many people think that they have failed at something. And so we don't like to be failures. We like to be winners. So the people that I don't worry about the people who are sitting in that chair back there, or sitting in my office wringing their hands, and they're worried and they have a lot of questions about divorce, and they're thoughtful, or they feel guilty or they feel scared. Those people have come to the decision to divorce after long considerations, and many of them have been in counseling trying to figure out whether it's time to leave their marriage. The people I worry about are the people who plop in my chair and say, okay, I'm ready to get divorced now.
Do you sometimes tell somebody is either plopping or sitting in your chair, as you referred to? Do you, on occasion, send them to a counselor because you feel that they may be able to overcome those challenges?
Yes, I tell all of my clients, no matter how healthy they appear, that they need to have a counselor, an individual therapist to help get them through the process of divorce every time. I mean, it's a big deal to get divorced or to go through the process of being in the family court because you don't have the control that you normally would have in your life. So those clients are ceding control not only to their lawyer, but they're also ceding control to a family court judge, in the end, if they can't settle their case. We also use other types of counselors. We have, in custody cases, co-parenting counselors.
Knowing you're fun, you're energetic, but you're also caring. And what do you do to with the process to take care of the injured, if you would, or put them together, especially when it comes to the kids? I want to know about the kids.
We all want to know about the kids because they're the most important thing. So our goal is to minimize the fighting. And this may not be the answer that you're looking for, but what kids want is for their parents not to fight. Because as little as they are, or they could be in high school, they're going to pick up on the fact that their parents are fighting and their parents are not living together anymore. And their parents are not sitting together in the soccer field anymore. And they just want that back. They don't care that dad might be living in another house. They just don't want them to fight.
What kind of tools do you offer the parents to take care of that?
We call it a parenting plan that will provide robust time for each parent. That's the general goal in any custody case where there's not dysfunction. Obviously, if there's dysfunction, that's a whole different story. But if it's just two people who can't get along anymore and who've raised their kids, and let's face it, it takes two people to raise any number of kids in Mount Pleasant because of the traffic, the school schedules, the extracurricular activities. I mean, there's a lot going on here in Mount Pleasant. So we want to make sure that, if possible, that both parents see their kids a lot. And it doesn't have to be on an overnight basis.
And you roll up your sleeves to make that happen when possible?
Yes, we roll up our sleeves and make that happen when possible. If it's a high conflict divorce, I'm not trained to do that. Obviously, I'm a lawyer, so I'm trained in the law. So we would send those people to maybe a co-parenting person and then to individual therapy too as well. And then sometimes you have to get the guidance counselors in the school involved, and we have to make sure that the children are taken care of.
I was impressed when I visited your office was you have a very supporting, intelligent, and energetic staff as well.
The important thing about my team is we've been together for a long time. My assistant, when people call my office, they're talking to a woman who has been with me for 17 years. And the same with my paralegal and my associate. We've been together for a long time. We work really well as a team. And we all have the same, I try to lead from the top. I mean, I'm trying to be kind to people, treat people as I would want to be treated if I was going through a divorce. And I have been through a divorce.
Thanks again, Emily. Congratulations on being voted one of the best.
It's an honor.
Very nice meeting you. Thanks very much, Emily.
Thank you. I appreciate it too. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Best of 2021 podcast brought to you by Mount Pleasant Magazine. To access today's guests and other Best of winners, visit bestofmp.com. For more in-depth articles and best of lists, pick up your copy of Mount Pleasant Magazine at your local Harris Teeter or Publix grocery stores, or read online at readmpm.com. The Best of Mount Pleasant brought to you by Mount Pleasant Magazine and our readers.